Just when you thought it was a good day to have a wash day, well, I guess not. So, I guess we got to do this, man. So let me get the housekeeping things out of the way. First off, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or whenever you're watching me right now. My name is Jay Luke, the owner and operator of the Passion Is Network, where we amplify the voices, elevate the culture, and champion the musicians. Don't forget, you can go ahead and get anything in our store. Get it whatever you want, put it in the cart, and then you can get 30% off your purchase. Just type in HBCU band, man. Also, don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. All right, man. This one was sent to me via text yesterday, and because I was supposed to do this yesterday, and I was pulling hair out, and then today was going to be a wash day, but I guess we got to postpone it for a second. So this was sent to me via text twice, and I think like Instagram like once. So we're going to get through it. Tennessee State University removes band director, launches investigation. I'm going to go ahead and read it from top to bottom. Tennessee State University has removed Reginald McDonald, the director of its Grammy-winning marching band, and placed him on paid administrative leave as school leaders carry out an investigation, TSU interim president Dwayne Tucker announced in news release Thursday. This decision concerns outstanding travels. Lord, I cannot read today. This decision concerns outstanding travel requisitions and advances and related lack of compliance with TSU policies and procedures, Tucker said in the release. Dr. McDonald will be on administrative leave with full pay while we continue this investigation. The band, known as the Aristocrat of Bands, is a beloved part of the vibrant culture at that historically black public university in Nashville. McDonald held various leadership roles with the band for the last 23 years and has served as its director since 2015, according to a LinkedIn profile. Tucker served on the TSU board, they're talking about the president, from April through when he took on leadership of the university in December. He said he quickly got to work with the board's audit committee as the university faces dire financial straits after a year of major leadership upheavals. The decision to remove McDonald from his position, place him on leave, and investigate came after an internal audit. As this is an ongoing personal matter, I will not be able to comment further about it at this time, Tucker said in the release. What I can say is that this difficult decision, and any that come here forward, have at their core a shared commitment to ensuring a bright and stable future for Tennessee State University. In October, the university cut back on road games for the band as the school underwent layoffs and a freeze on hiring and non-essential spending. So a lot to unpack here. So let's go ahead and get some of the things that we know out of the way. First thing that we do know is that, as you know, I've done 2 reports on Tennessee State. They have been in financial situation for the last 2 years, or last lot of years. I accidentally said 2. My bad. It's been more than 2. So we do know that. We do know that the Aristocrat of Bands is a Grammy award-winning band. We know that as well. So those are things that we know for sure. And what you also realize, too, is that whether you want a Grammy or not, nobody's safe. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and say it like this. And I have 2 different thoughts on this. Right. I'm going to share my first thought, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to share my second thought. My first thought is this. If Dr. McDonald did this, like if he really did this, if he really overspent on travel budgets and all of that kind of stuff, and he didn't follow, procedures and so on and so forth, then you did the crime, you got to do time. And I get it from a band director's perspective, right? You want to give your kids the experience that they so rightfully deserve. You want to be able to take these trips. You want to be able to do these performances. And so, I'm not going to say it's right to sit up to do something that egregious, right? Like, you know better. You know the right steps to take. You know the things to do. And you move forward with it anyway because you want to try to give your kids the greatest experience they possibly can have while they are part of that program and while they are in those seats. And you being a leader, you want to make sure that they are exposed as many times as they can possibly, can, and they're getting their performances. On the flip side of that, again, if you did it, you got to go down with it. And I would hate to see that happen to Dr. McDonald. And that happened with the program. So I just want to say that that is the first mind that I have about it. That ain't the mind that I truly believe in. That is just an opinion that I have on one side. Now, here's my other opinion. Here's my other side. I'll say it again. As we know, TSU has been going through financial problems for quite some time. This is the same TSU that we found out through news reports and so on and so forth that gave kids a scholarship and then tried to get them back. This is the same TSU that we found out that received scholarship funds but overspent and overpromised on those scholarship funds. I'm going to be very honest. Dr. McDonald has been part of the aristocrat of bands for 20 something years, been the director of bands, I think, since 2015, 2019, somewhere around there. He knows policies and procedures. He knows what to do when it comes to travel budgets. I'm sorry, but I'm going to just be very honest. In my opinion, history has proven that TSU has done some really, really egregious and phony stuff in order for them to be able to cover up for the accountability part of the way that they have been spending. I believe, this is my personal opinion, I believe that Dr. McDonald did with everything that he was supposed to do. I think that he knew the policies and procedures. I think that he had a budget that he knew that he had to spend on. And I feel like TSU at some point was like, we're going to renege on that, or we're going to pull back on that, and then we're going to audit you and then make it seem as though you overspent or you required some requisitions for some travel that you didn't have the funding for. That's just my personal opinion, because we have seen historically that TSU has done this in other areas. Now, that's just my opinion. That's not based in fact. I tried to call a couple of my, TSU connects and so on and so forth to try to get a little bit more information on it. But I will also say that because this is such a sensitive subject, I know that they're not necessarily open to having that conversation, so on and so forth. And that's fine. My goal was to try to get as many facts as possible. But seeing as I was unable to get the full concrete facts, that's my opinion. I really believe that TSU is doing this to try to recoup some bread, to try to not take accountability for their financial woes. And or we also know that they have cut many, many, many faculty. This might be a way just to be able to get him out. Cut that budget. Now, right now, he's on paid leave. As they continue to do the investigation, hopefully, my prayer is that he doesn't lose his job. I'm going to be honest. I don't ever want to see a person lose their bread. I don't ever want to see a person lose their livelihood. And I definitely don't want to see a person who has been, the helm of a band program that has been doing a stellar job to be removed for any reason that, is any reason. But I will also say, again, going back to my first thought, if he did it, he did it. Ain't no Grammy Award winning, all that kind of stuff going to save you from your job. And even in this particular situation, from the other side of my opinion, where I think that, TSU is just doing some crazy stuff on the back end, but that's just my opinion. But that Grammy Award winning stuff is not going to save anybody. They want their money and they don't want to take the accountability for the financial woes that they're in, and they want to try to pass the buck and pass the blame. That's my personal opinion. That's just my personal opinion. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that that's what's true, but what I will say is this, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to say this again. This is why, in my heart of hearts, I believe that every HBCU should have a standard for when you leave the band room. I don't care what it is, whether it's a battle of the bands, whether it's a showcase, whether it's a performance at Ollie's, whether you're doing a performance at Jack in the Box, we do not leave this band room without this set amount. Because you wouldn't have to, in most cases, overspend on travel budgets, because the people who are calling you to perform will spend money for you. I put it the same way as this. I'm a DJ. Somebody comes to me and says, hey, we need you to spend for this particular event. Here's my invoice. Now, the conversation is, are you going to cover it or not? What we have to realize is we, HBCU band programs, we are tonight's entertainment. No band showcase, no battle of the bands, no performance at Walmart. None of that happens without us being tonight's entertainment. And I don't think that we globally, I think some programs grasp that, but I don't think globally we grasp that. If Drake, Nicki Minaj, I don't even know if she still performs. Does she even perform anymore? Kendrick Lamar, any of these people, if they give a concert, they are tonight's performance. They are the premier performance. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to get paid to do that performance. Quite handsomely, by the way. But they get paid for their performances to be tonight's entertainment. Let's just be real. Let's just keep it a buck. And I got to put it out there like this. HBCU bands, we know that we are entertaining, right? We are joyous, we're loud, we're bombastic, we got a groove to us, we got a little bit more rhythm, all of these things, right? We know what we bring to the table, and yet we don't require them. We don't require people to actually pay for us in that realm. And half of the reason is because there is not a across the board agreement for every HBCU band to say, hey, we're not stepping out of this band room until this is paid. Yes, will you possibly lose performances? Maybe. Will exposure go down a little bit? Maybe. But the problem is the fact that because everyone is not in agreement with it, or because everyone is not in solidarity with it. All right, well, this university over here, they're saying they're going to charge me. All right, what about y'all? Yeah, we'll do it. And then you have to find travel budget to make sure that your group gets there. I don't care if it's the drum line. I don't care if it's the drum majors. I don't care if it's the dancers. I don't care if it's a pep band. I don't care if it's the full band. What is the price for you stepping out of that band room? There has to be one for every single program. Then you won't overspend on travel budgets if you really did it. And I'm not talking specifically to TSU. I'm talking about anybody. If someone calls and says, hey, can you all come and do this performance here at da-da-da-da-da-da-da, there should all of a sudden be a sure for this price. Not, yeah, we'll send a drum line there. And then now you got to go put in a requisition to get the funds, to get the travel for the drum line to show up. Or y'all gonna be like, hey, drum line, how many of y'all got cars? Okay, who got a truck? All right, can we get y'all to carpool to this performance, and then we'll put all the drums in your truck, and y'all know what I'm talking about. This is because I've been there. We'll put all the drums in your truck, and then I'll put a couple of y'all in my car, and then or if I have a truck, if I have a big enough truck or a van, you know, I got a whole starting lineup over here, so I'll just be like, all right, I'll take the seats out of the van. And then we'll just put your drums in the van and I'll just meet y'all over there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Why we got to do that? Instead of saying, hey, here's the invoice for this particular performance. This has to be covered for us to be able to leave this building. All right. Once they pay that, all right, thank you. I appreciate it. Take that over to who you need to take it over to. You got the fund to be able to travel. Yeah, we need to make sure that we have this particular bus ready to go, so on and so forth. We got to do this. We got to stand in solidarity. We are. What we do is tonight's entertainment. And we have to approach it from that big school, small school, whatever. And remember, every school is going to have their set price, right? Because every band is different, right? You know, and I use them as an example. Tuskegee is a smaller program than Tennessee State. So Tennessee State is going to require a lot more. But there has to be solidarity on that agreement across the board. These things like this will not happen anymore. Does that mean that some showcases will probably be shut down? Maybe. Just maybe. But it's showing value in what you do and respecting what you do and the work that you put in for what you do. I was just having this conversation yesterday. I think it's crazy. Even as a performer, as much as I liked Honda as a performer, I also disliked Honda because I didn't like coming back, cutting my break short to come back and practice lots of hours to prepare for this one performance in Atlanta that we weren't even as a staff member found out we weren't even recouping a lot of financial money on the back end of that. We just really gave a free performance because Honda came out big. And I think back then it was like $20,000. I don't know what it is now. But I really believe that we got to do better with what we're doing, how we're accepting these performances. I really think that we can stay out of these particular situations if we require more finances up front. But I mean, you guys tell me what you all think. Do you all think that my first opinion is accurate, that he did do it, that, regardless of the fact of how many accolades you got, it is what it is? Or do you think TSU is doing something kind of shady based on historical references of how they've been dealing with their community and with their people? Man, I want to hear all those thoughts inside of your comment section. Also, don't forget, you can get anything in our store. Put it inside of our cart, 30% off your purchase. Just type in HBCU band. Remember, like, subscribe. I got to get this hair done. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.